How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Thank you. I will keep my hand.
Oh man, I haven't seen an Endrek in a while. I loved one of my friends had a Endrek deck back in the early EDH days, and it was great.
Well, he is my pride and joy, so I don't know why. I actually don't know why he hasn't played more. He's a really good commander.
Him and his
Sephiroth
throwaways.
Mephiroth.
Endrek did it first.
Yeah.
Alright, let me type in my commander here real quick before I try to draw. Then we have Xavier Saul, investigate. Remove a counter from another permanent you control. Populate. Interesting. I will take my second 7.
I'll keep it.
I'm going to regret this. I know I am. But we will see how it goes. Oh boy. We will keep this hand. Everybody ready?
Yep.
All right. Let's see here. Let me start us off here. Draw. I'm going to play a Forest and a Tinderwall and pass turn.
I will draw. I will play an Iceland. Pass.
I will play a Rogue's Passage and pass.
Oh, sorry.
You're all good.
Swamp pass.
I will play a Mountain, and I will play a Sylvan Library and pass.
Tap. I'll keep draw. I'll play a forest. Tap for 2 to cast Gnarly Colony. It doesn't keep, so each creature I control with a +1/+1 counter on it cast trample.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a black screen for everybody. I don't know if they're the same.
Nope. You can try
Can you see
reloading.
my screen?
Is this Ajax I was just talking?
Yes.
I can see your screen, yes.
All right. I'm getting like a spinning wheel that says reconnecting, so I might refresh if it doesn't
Yeah.
reconnect.
No worries.
What's this game called? Is this just bracket 4?
Bracket 4.
Okay. Yeah, it's just stuck, so I'm gonna refresh.
Well, I'm just gonna play a Mountain.
And we will wait for him to return. Oh, he's coming back. Let's go. Ooh, it changed your camera angle too.
Yeah, I got my.
fix my camera too.
Nice. A 2-for-1. My desk isn't quite wide enough to set my camera stand on, so it's literally just it's sitting on an ammo can.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Just got some lands. All right. I'll play a Phyrexian Tower. I'm going to 2 for an Arcade Signet.
Mm-hmm.
And pass.
Beginning of my draw step, I will draw an additional 2 cards, and then I can pay life, 4 life for each. One that I want to keep, and then the other 2 got to go back on top if I don't want to pay life. But you know what we like to do here? We like to 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna pay 8. Nobody has any fancy lands, okay. I am going to play a Vesuva, copying my forest. I am going... Cards in everybody's hand. Uh, 6 from you, 7 from you.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Alright. I will sack the Tinder Wall for 2 red. And 1 red from there. I'll play Jessica's Will. And I'll gain 7 from Tug Monkey. Oh, he's back. I will use 4 of the 7 and my 1 green to play Blanka. And I still have 1 red available. Blanka has haste.
I froze out for a second. I assume you just played Jessica's Will and Blanka. Is that right?
Yeah, Jessica's Will, Blanka, 1 red still floating. I will go ahead and cast Brute Force on Blanka, giving him +3/+3 until end of turn. Each opponent takes 2 damage, and he gets +2/+2. He does not currently have Trample, and the only blocker is Devious, right? Correct? I will come at Cruel Claw for 10. And pass turn.
You swing at me?
Yeah, Cruel Claw. Yep. It was 10.
Oh, Tug Monkey. Tap. Keep and draw. I will play a Swamp as land for turn. Tap 3. Cast Commander.
Yep.
Pass.
I will play a Swamp
Mm-hmm.
and also my commander. Pass.
I will play a Swamp. Yeah, I'm going to cast a Fleshbag Marauder.
Yep.
Everybody devious.
Yeah.
Pass.
Alright. Draw. You know, we aren't here for a long time. We're here for a good time, so we're gonna pay 8. If you aren't killing yourself to your own Sylvan library, you're really playing the game the correct way. I'll play Croak the Thumbless. And pass turn.
On tap. Draw. Play forest. Tap 1. To play Swarm Shambler. Swarm Shambler enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counter.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever a creature I control with a +1/+1 counter on it becomes target of a spell and opponent controls, I create a 1/1 instant creature token, and I can pay 1, tap it, put a +1/+1 counter on the Swarm Shambler, and pass.
I will play a Blood Crypt and just pass.
This one. I'll run out. Endrek. And pass.
Alright. Draw. Okay, we're gonna go down to 16. We're gonna play a forest. Tap 4. We're gonna play a treasonous ogre. And we will pay 3 to add 1 red and 1 green. I'll play a Coruscation Mage, and I will pass my turn.
On tap, upkeep, and draw, I will play Command Tower as my turn.
Mm-hmm.
We'll pay 5. And I will cast Unfathomable Truths. It has the void, and I draw 3 cards, and I create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature token with sacrifice this creature and add colorless mana.
Mm-hmm.
3. Okay, and I will create spawn. And pass.
I will move to discard and discard a Baleful Force and pass turn.
That is a high curve hand. Baleful Force. Is this a graveyard card? Nope.
You know, I had never seen that card before.
8 for a 7/7 Phyrexian Rita.
Oh, it's every upkeep.
Oh, that's a little better.
Yeah.
Draw. I'm playing Nick Thos trying to mix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pay 5 for Krav the Unredeemed. Triggers Endrek on the cast for 5 rolls.
throws. My kingdom for red mana. I will draw 1 and not pay the life this time. We'll play a always too late Soul Ring. Everybody gets pinged for 1 off of the Coruscation Mage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll pay 3 life to add a red. I'll play Blanka. And I will pass turn.
On top. I'll keep and draw. I will play in nice land. That's land for turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will pay 2. I will cast Simic Ascendancy. You know what that does?
Yeah, you can put counters on things.
The alt win.
Yeah, if I have 20, I win the game. Well, if that yeah, I will pay 1 to cast the Wild Will Scorch, and I will pay X 3 times, so it will enter with 3 +1/+1 counters. The Simic will get 3. Okay. And then I will tap my commander. I will sacrifice the Eldrazi spawn, and I will proliferate. So 2, 4. This goes to 4 and 2.
Proliferating. Yeah. Got it. Go proceed.
And I'll pass after that.
How many counters on Simic Ascendancy?
6.
Oh my.
I am going to play an Animate Dead on my Baleful Force.
That's why it went in there.
Every single upkeep, I draw a card and lose 1 life. I will pass the turn.
Alright.
On your end step, I will pay 1 black and sack 5 thralls to Krav. We'll get 5 +1/+1 counters. I'll gain 5 life. I'll draw 5 cards. Upkeep. Draw your card there, Ted. Okay. Draw for turn. Play a swamp.
It's 6. And that's the Hydra that doubles its counters, right?
No, it's only whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on another non-creature
okay.
creature. Oh. So this will go to 5 because I put the +1/+1 counter on the Shambler,
Mm-hmm.
and the Simic is at 7.
Yep.
Okay. I'm casting a Vindictive Vampire. Triggers 4 rolls on the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I'll sack a Thrall to Phyrexian Tower. 2 black. I'll use the 2 for Nykthos for 3 black. So I have 3 black floating. I'll use 2 for that was kind of silly actually. 3 floating black. I'm going to use 1 to sack 3 Thralls.
Mm-hmm.
Draw 3 to Krav. Put 3 counters on Krav. Gain 3. Draw 3. Two floating black now. Cast a Warren Soul Trader. Oh, and Vindictive Vampire. That sack. You'll all take 3 damage and I'll gain 3. Then I'm casting Warren Soul Trader. That'll trigger Ender for 3 Thralls. I'll sack 2 to the Warren Soul Trader, so I'll get 1 Thrall, lose 2 life, and make 2 treasures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use the 2 treasures for Lighting Greaves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move to equip the Greaves to Endrek.
Does he fly? Yep.
Okay. I think with that, I'm going to pass the turn, and I will discard on a cleanup, unless anyone has an end step action.
Nope.
Nope.
This one.
All right, we're at 10. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, sorry guys. We had 2 more Soul Trader triggers. treasures on the Vindictive Vampire.
So lose 2.
So I break even on life. You all lose 2.
At 8. Okay.
And I had to discard one more card. Let's see if I get another swamp.
I'm going to float 2 colorless. I'm going to start my turn by apparently trying to drop my card. Casting a Poison Blade targeting Blanka. Krark will trigger. I'll just roll a d6 odd or... Oh, we have a coin flip. All right. So I'll call heads every time. When I cast an instant or sorcery spell, flip the coin. If I lose the flip, return that spell to its owner's hand. If I win the flip, copy that spell, and I may choose new targets. So like I said, I call heads. It is heads, so it copies. The second one, I will also have target Blanka. So everybody will take 4. I draw 2, and he has Death Touch until end of turn.
4 in total or 4 each time?
No, 4 total so far.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. That it's actually 5 total because the first one is a cast, and the Coruscant Mage did damage too. Then I have 1 colorless floating. I will use, and here I gotta keep track of this. So he is +4/+4 currently. I will cast Crimson Wisps. We'll flip a coin. Again, heads. Crimson Wisps is target creature becomes red and gains haste until end of turn. Draw a card. It's heads, so it will copy, giving him another +4/+4. Everybody will take 5 again. And then I draw 2. Oh, I shouldn't have played that Forest. That's a big sad. I will play a Talisman of Impulse. I'll ping myself for 1. I will play Expedite. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Draw a card. Krark flips again. Again, heads is what I'm calling. Tails. So this will return to my hand. But he was still targeted, so he gets +2/+2, and everybody gets shot for 3. I will pay 3 to add a treasonous, a red with a treasonous order. Try the Expedite again. We flip a coin. It's head, so it's copied. So he'll get another +4/+4, and and you guys will take 5 again. I will draw 2 cards. What's everybody at? 14/4. Okay. Tap a green. We're gonna cast Charge Through. Same thing. Call heads. It copies. So another +4/+4 shoots everybody for 5.
Oh, it's a trampler.
Yeah. Draw 2. Here we go. I will go down to 1, hoping that I do not get pinged to death. To add a red, I will cast Ground Rift. Coin flip.
Response.
Yep.
I sack a throw to Horn soldier, make a treasure.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
you lose a life.
Yep. You're good.
Wow.
I forgot about that. My bad. I blew my load too early.
Was that Sylvan Library?
Wow.
He was. Oh, you're good.
On tap.
Oh, he would have smacked somebody for like 40 damage too. Damn.
Yeah.
That's what I get for getting greedy. Oh, it would have been way more than 40 because of the storm. Yeah.
On tap after the draw, I will play a forest. I will tap 3. 7 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to cast the Hornet Queen. Now it has flying, get dodge, and
Yeah. So
I create 4, 1, 1.
Blanka worked as intended. I need to increase or improve my mana base quite dramatically. If I can get some mana rocks in there, like the Felwar Stone, Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond, and then, things like Taiga, Stomping Ground, Commercial District, I think we will be really, really good to go. Put a couple more, get a Scalding Tarn in here, things like that. But overall, I'm extremely impressed with how this did here. Might have been able to kill everybody.
One, I will get. We'll go to 7. And this will get 1, 2, 3 in total. 11. And I will pass after that.
Draw for turn. I'm going to cast a Dark Confidant. Trigger is Endrek for 2 thralls. I'm going to sack those 2 to make 2 treasures, and I'll break even on life, and Devious you'll lose 2.
Do you win the game this turn?
I do not. I mean, I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I'm trying, but I don't have the cards right now. I'm going to cast a Knight's Whisper to draw 2, lose 2.
I lose 2 or you?
I lose 2.
Okay.
I draw 2. I'm going to pay 3 treasure for a Murderous Rider. Triggers Endrek for 3 on the cast. 3 thralls.
Oh, I forgot to make the lobby private. My apologies.
I'm going to pay 2. I'm not going to sacrifice anything with the Phyrexian Tower. I'm going to pay 2 to activate Nykthos for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black. Then I'm going to pay one of those 7, leaving 6 floating, to sacrifice 3 thralls, the Murderous Rider, and Dark Confidant to Krav. So you're going to lose 5. I'll break even, and I'll draw 5 and put 5 on Krav. I have 6 black. All right. So with 6, I'll cast, leaving 1 black floating, a God Eternal Bantu for 5. Triggers Endrek for 5 thralls on the cast. Any responses?
Nope.
All right. ETB, I'll just sack 5 thralls. You lose 5. DBS, I'll gain 5.
And it's game.
GG's.
Good game.
Like
Good
I
game.
said, wasn't here for a long time, just a good time.
I think if you had about 5 or 6 more life, that would have been it.
Had I
In my
just
turn, I will have win.
had I
because I
just
cast-
drawn a couple more mountains in my previous turns, I would.
You
would've
must
been
have paid like 9 or 12 life into that.
Yeah,
treasonous ogre.
I paid 12. I paid 12 into the treasonous ogre. I had no choice. And the sad thing was, I was drawing mountains after I played that forest in my last turn. It would have been nutty though, had I been able to swing out.
That was a big Blanka.
Yeah, because it would have been like something like 8 or 9 storm from the ground drift. It would have been interesting. Oh, thank you guys very much for the game. I very much appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
It was fun.
night.
Have a great
Gibbon,
night,
hold on a
guys.
sec
Yeah.
before you go. I just have a quick. How is the name of your commander the Howling Abomination?
Okay, so this is something really annoying to me. So they made the Street Fighter Secret Lair, right?
Yeah.
And Blanka was the card. So you know how like when they reprinted the Ozolith as like or here we'll use the Party Tree. So Party Tree is a Universes Beyond version of the Great Henge that they made for Lord of the Rings. You know how they put the little name under it?
Yeah.
So they can't do that with Universes Beyond because they'd have to pay the rights again. So what they did, what they did was make another card called the Howling Abomination. I'm pretty sure you can type it in here.
It's just the same card as Blanka?
And it's the exact same card. And so this threw me off because I didn't know that they were two separate, or that they were the exact same card, right? So in my Blanka deck, I'm like, holy shit, there's a second card just like him. Kind of like, there's a million divinations, and there's a million of those cards that's like discard a card, draw 2, gain a treasure, right? All for the same cost. So I'm like, oh, I'll put them both in there. My friend's like, you can't. And I'm like, why not? They're like, they're the exact same card. You can't have one of each of them.
Like you could. No, I don't. I think your friends are wrong. This is a totally different card with the exact same stats. It's a different name.
So apparently, if you look down there at the bottom left-hand corner, it says R equals Secret Lair drop 431.
Oh my god, what a lame.
And if you look at the bottom left for Blanka, it says 431. So this actually brings up a super complicated issue, right? Like, how? So since we have so much Universes Beyond now, and I'm not against Universes Beyond, as evidenced by the fact that I'm playing Blanka, he's fun. But like, so take the Final Fantasy set, for example, right? Or the Lord of the Rings set. So are you going to tell me that when you print these as in-universe, you're going to have to put like the little, like, Middle Earth thing down in the bottom left? Because they won't be able to, like, say they make an artifact called, Ring of Greed. We'll just call it Ring of Greed, right? You
Uh-huh.
can't put the reminder text, like the reminder name under it saying the One Ring, because they won't have the rights to Lord of the Rings
So
anymore.
yeah, so this is their like loophole for like reprinting Howling Abomination,
Yeah, but the problem
and
is imagine being a
so they
new
don't have to
player.
reserve list Blanka
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, imagine being a new player in say 4 years after we've had like the Avatar set, the Final Fantasy, Lord of the Rings, Fallout, Doctor Who, Spider-Man, probably another Marvel set, who knows, Star Wars, and probably Game of Thrones, right? And
Are
maybe
they going to
another
get the
anime
rights to
set.
Star Wars? That would be absurd.
They got the rights to Marvel. Disney loves money.
Yeah.
But
That's
now just imagine that, right? All of those cards out in the ether, and you're a new player wanting to play, and say like there's, we're gonna say Sephiroth, right? And he's been reprinted as a Universes Within card, but they can't have the Sephiroth text on there. If you're a new player building a deck, you're gonna be like, "Oh, sweet! I'm gonna put both these cards in there."
I'm a lawyer, and if I'm whatever company owns Final Fantasy, I, I don't I would not consider this fair use of my IP.
Yeah, it's like, so like, how are
I don't
like,
know how they got around that license agreement, but I don't think it's gonna work.
so I watch a lot of like MTG Goldfish, and Tomer on MTG Goldfish actually brought up a huge concern. It's like they like you said, they might not be able to get around fair use by doing that. So are we gonna see a pseudo reserved list of Universes Beyond cards, right? Like, how do you reprint?
yeah. I think that will
I think
be
they
the-
do unless they
issue.
they have to. Well, I mean, they can say we'll put it. It's a pseudo reserve list, or we pay the license fee.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
they paid it once. I mean, if it's enough money, they'll pay it again.
yeah, because they did this not only for the Street Fighter cards, but I think they did it also for the Walking Dead cards, which I always forget are a thing.
Have those things been reprinted in some sort of like
Yeah, those
like
got.
Dominaria like creature?
Yeah, they were all printed as like essentially like list cards. I think the Howling Abomination came with with Dominaria United. A whole bunch of like the Street Fighter ones have all been reprinted, like Chun Li and all those. So let's see what Chun Li is. Chun Li. I don't know how to spell it. Ken. We're gonna try Ken. Nope, that doesn't work either.
Who is it? Capcom that owns the rights to
Capcom
that?
owns Street Fighter. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna call them up and say, hey, you guys got it. Copyright violation on your hands. For
It's just so interesting because like if you are essentially creating, even if they are able to do that, right? They're not going to reprint every card.
There's no way that any contract has been written that said,
Yeah.
oh, if you just call it a different title, but it's the same freaking card, and it
Yep.
has the same function in the game. Like you couldn't even run two of those in the same deck.
Yep. And
It's the same card.
Yeah. I know, right? And so like even
The
if
only
they
reason
were-
people like that card is because you already planted Blanka.
Yep. The art is bad for the Howling Abomination too. Not to diss on the artist, it's just
I guess
it
Richards
looks
is
really
saying
weird.
like, oh well, technically the IP is like just the name Blanka
Yeah.
and the picture of Blanka on it, and people aren't going to want to buy Howling Abomination, but like you printed Blanka under the license, and
So
yeah.
if they are able to get away with something like that, right? Like, do they print a like Universes Within Masters set? And
that must be what they're going to do. I mean, if they can get away with this, if this does fly and under copyright law, then they could just do that. That would be the answer. Because why Tomer's concerned is like all these Universes Beyond things. There's no set for them to be reprinted, and they're just essentially, like you said, pseudo reserve list cards.
And one of his other concerns is, right, like, so some of them, like the Howling Abomination, you can get away with, right? Because the only thing you have to change is the name Blanka to Howling Abomination. But he brought up a great point. How do you reprint Tyranids into universes within? Because they all refer to a creature type.
Like a creature type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they only affect other Tyranids. Are they going to change them to insects or insect abomination or something like that? And
yeah, but and then it would have to be a different card, and you can run 2.
Exactly. And so that was what he was bringing up with them, like essentially creating a pseudo reserve list. So, and because like the Marvel ones I could see getting reprinted because like those sold out instantly. I'm shocked that, so it's really weird to me that they're doing a Spider-Man only set. I really would have thought that they would have went with like a whole Marvel set, but maybe they just couldn't. Plus, doesn't. So
no,
Sony
the
owns
IP
the
is a little
movie,
different
right?
for a Spider-Man. It has its own IP.
Yeah.
But I don't know why these companies are like just folding onto the argument that like, oh, we're going to release a bunch of super popular cards. People are going to buy them. They're going to get hooked on these cards. They're going to like them because of your IP.
Yep.
And then we're going to reprint them with different names, but the same text.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to say, oh, it's not the same card because it's, this is now our IP because we came up with the rule text on the card, which, obviously Marvel didn't come up with like Blanka's or Captain America's abilities, right? They came up with the shield and the uniform and the name Captain America.
Yep.
And so that would be Wizard's argument to say like, it's just, we bought the art from you essentially in the name. We're not reprinting either of those things.
Yep.
We came up with the how the card works. But the only reason anyone's interested in that card and how it works is because you first released Captain America or Blanka or whatever. I don't. There must be some other lawyers representing these companies scratching their heads about what the fuck.
Yeah, it's how capitalism works.
Yeah. Oh, and I got to imagine that the Final Fantasy one will be insanely difficult because of how we all know, like for example, Nintendo, right? We all know how insanely strict like Japanese copyright law is. I don't think like Square Enix is going to be any less stringent about their intellectual property.
I mean, maybe there is if it's in the contract, it says like if you reprint another card with the same name or a different name but the same abilities, we get X% of whatever the sales are, or whatever that card is. That would be the out if it were under contract. And we obviously that would be confidential. No one would know what that contract says. So that maybe that's why they're not getting sued. But otherwise, it's worth a flyer because it wouldn't cost that much to file a complaint.
Yeah.
And at least settle for like 7 figures.
And who knows, right? Like maybe their plan isn't. I know they've said that they plan on reprinting a bunch of them, like, and I assume that the Street Fighter versions were like their test. But due to like the logistics that we're talking about, maybe their plan is like with Lord of the Rings. I think that is still actively being printed until either this year or next year. And so like maybe their plan is to, when they get the rights to these properties, get the print runs to be so large that they're hoping that there will be enough supply added into the market that they won't have to worry about it for a long time.
Yeah, I guess so. Revised had a huge print run.
Yeah.
And dual lands are like, minimum 300 to 1,000 from Revised.
That did take a long time though, because like even
kind of. I mean, yeah, but it did take a long time to like get momentum, or is it like?
So like
if you reprinted a dual land now with the print run, would it jump to that price?
No,
because the player base is huge now.
Yeah,
Magic's never been more popular.
It would spike initially, especially if it was they would never print a dual land in the standard, but say
or something equivalent where it was that same number of copies and it was reserve list. I do think it would be in the hundreds of dollars.
At least initially, especially in a playable format like Modern, right? But then, like, if it is a large print product, it would eventually go down because of supply. I also think it might crash the market because, um, like even up until like during COVID is when the shift happened, right? We all saw this where people went from mostly playing like I used to be a legacy player, right? I played like 12 post and zoo and stuff like that. Duels, yeah, I was like, oh man, this underground sees $200 or $250 in 2019, and then people during COVID started using Magic as an investment vehicle, and because of that, um, lots and lots of investors bought up a whole bunch of the reserve list and speculation caused those prices to skyrocket, right? Like dual lands increased in value initially, not because of vintage, but because of how overwhelmingly popular Legacy was at one point. Like Legacy was the biggest format, but it's kind of like imploded. It never came back, and so now Commander is. But
Commander is by far the biggest format now.
Yeah,
and you play duels in Commander.
You play duels in Commander, but you don't see them as frequently, right? Like
because well, it's like a one of.
Yeah, you don't need 4 for your deck. A lot of people are priced out of duels. Like I was an idiot and sold my collection a long time ago, and I cannot get my my Scheherazade back or my Candelabras back and stuff like that, or my duels, because of how expensive everything has become, and it's only going to be worse. Like if I were Wizards and Hasbro, I would eat the potential investor class action lawsuit to just essentially print infinite money off of reprinting reserve list cards.
I don't think it's infinite.
It'd be a lot.
I actually think there is a cachet. There is something to be said for there being an exclusive class of cards, because it's not just chess, right, or checkers where you just or poker, where you just play with these cards you can pick up at Target for $3. The reason why there's a premium on Magic cards is not because they're game pieces, it's because there's a collectible tradable aspect to them. And if the only reason there's a collectible tradable aspect to them is because they're worth money, and the only reason they're worth money is because there are certain cards that are worth a lot of money.
And so it's interesting too, because I kind of wish Magic had gone the route kind of like Pokemon and how they do their thing, right? Like regular versions of cards are cheap, the special versions are what's expensive, right? Like so I haven't played Pokemon in a very long time, but like the original, Charizard that was expensive is still really expensive. They've reprinted that card and it didn't hurt the original value because it was the original. Might have brought it down a little bit, but not a huge amount. And so like maybe if they got rid of the reserve list, right? Like keep your Power 9. Don't reprint those because there's no healthy way for those to exist.
You can't use them anyway. Yeah.
Vintage is the only place you can. Well, you can use Time Twister.
Time Twister.
Yeah.
But I mean, in Commander, Time Twister is a pretty good card, but it's not a great card.
Exactly. But if you made like some modern white border duels, I don't think that beta duels and alpha duels and revised and unlimited would lose their value as much, because people are still going to be like, oh, I have this beta Underground Sea, right? As opposed to like this reserve list Masters Underground Sea. So I think
the duels would go down to like $100, but they would get like, because like take Wheel of Fortune, another reserve list card that was printed in revised. There's no other Wheel of Fortune, but there's a lot of things that are pretty close. That have been reprinted.
Wheel of Fortune.
And Wheel of Fortune's like a $200 to $300 card.
See, and
they'll never really get much more than that, because otherwise you just replace it with like the marginally.
Yeah, the Wheel of Fate and.
Yeah, there are all kinds of stuff you can replace it with.
That card is a swift kick to me, because in the early days of EDH, that card was like, like a couple bucks, and I had like 50
I know,
of them.
I remember.
I had like 50 of them. just like nobody ran Rhystic Study or Mystic Remora in the early days of EDH. I never saw that card get played ever, or either of them. And like, somewhere in a tote, somewhere at either my house or my parents' house, is just like a giant bulk box of Ice Age that I need to go through for like Mystic Remora. And get like
I don't know. There's
stuff.
definitely a Wheel of Fortune somewhere at my parents' house.
Yeah. But thank you guys for the great game and great discussion. Hopefully we can see some.
night.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys.